Good morning, my friend. Did you ever think about why Shabbos you're not allowed to work? What's the reason? And what about spiritual work? Can I work hard spiritually? It's only physical work. So we already discussed the Mishkan, the two parts of the Mishkan. The Yeriyos, the coverings, which we said that's mitzvahs. We explained the Pnimius, we explained the Kalim. The Kalim is like Torah, which Torah is like Mazin. It's more internalized. You have to understand the Torah. It's not enough they just read the words. You have to understand it. And now we're going to discuss the Inyan from Shabbos. We're on page 174, Omad Aleph. The second paragraph, it starts Vehine. We just explained Torah very generally. But before we discuss Torah in details, we first have to explain the general idea of Shabbos. What is Shabbos? Whether it was when Hashem was telling Moshe to build a Mishkan, or when Moshe was telling the Jewish people, the Yidden, to build a Mishkan, these three topics were mentioned. Building the Mishkan, the tapestries that cover the Mishkan, the tarp, the kalim, the vessels that were in the Mishkan, and Shabbos. The only difference really is just the order. That Moshe Rabbeinu changed the order, but everything was always on topic. So something special about Shabbos, which is another question I need to ask myself, is what makes Shabbos a special day? Is it because Hashem said I shouldn't do any work on Shabbos and focus on learning and davening? That also. The reason is because I have a whole different neshama on Shabbos. I have an extra neshama. Our Chachamim tell us that every Yid has extra neshama. It's known that in the animal kingdom, not just the animal kingdom, anything that every living, I would say I categorize it. Let's say we start any insects or animals or humans. The lower it is on the hierarchy, the less it sleeps. So an ant, I don't know how much it sleeps, but it sleeps a very short time. I don't know if it's 5 minutes or 2 minutes or 30 minutes a day. I think it's less than 30 minutes. When you go all the way up to the lion sleeps all day, most of the day. The higher it is, the more it has to sleep. Because the question really is, what is sleep? Sleep is not a waste of time. Sleep is that your energy and your nefesh goes up to a higher world, gets processed, and comes back down. Okay. Think about it in a very grub muscle, like charging your battery, let's say. Right? You go to sleep tired, you wake up refreshed. The smaller the battery, the less it has to recharge. So on Shabbos, there's a halacha. Shabbos, Rosh Hashanah is also for this halacha. Shina b'Shabbos tainuk. There's a mitzvah to sleep extra on Shabbos. So why? Since you have a neshama yesera, now you're in a hierarchy, or you have a bigger battery, you have to spend more time charging it. So, what's the idea of this extra neshama we get on Shabbos? I don't feel a difference on Shabbos more than the whole week. The idea is, the Niksiv, it says in the Pasuk, Parshas Rishayna, the Kishma, the first Parshas Kishma, Shema Yisrael, Chulei Echad v'Haftam B'Chalavcha Chulei. In other words, what is Shabbos and what is the weekday? What's the difference? Al Rebbe is going to explain. During the Avodah is during the week, I'm working very hard. Like it says, Sheish Sham Te'asan Lachtecha. I have to work hard. Doesn't only mean you have to work for a living. Working for a living is a secondary thing. When it says working hard, it refers to working hard to develop the love to Hashem when I say Shema. Since Shema, the whole point of Shema Yisrael is v'ahavta, that I shall love Hashem. So I'm spending the whole week, every davening, I'm meditating and I'm being mizbainin, and I'm developing a love to Hashem. That's the work. Come Shabbos, kivay Shabbos, vayinafash. I don't have to work hard. I have extra neshama, therefore it's easier for me to tap into this love to Hashem. Let's look at it inside. See, it says in the pasuk, the first Parshas of the Krishma, here Yidden, Echad, and you should love with all your heart. Peter Steitz out the Rebbe, This love is born and drawn from the meditation, the greatness of the Eibishter. How it's Vayakhel. Like our sages tell us, the idea of Echad is that you should crown Hashem as a king in the heaven and the earth and the four directions of the world. That's the Echad. This refers to the Ches. The Ches, the gematria of Ches is 8, which that's the 7 heavens and the earth. And Vadal Echad is the Dalet is gematria of 4, and that's the 4 directions. What's the idea? The Aleph refers to Hashem, Aluf Shalom, and the Ches and the Dalid, which is the 7 heavens and the earth, and the 4 directions are all bottle. They're nullified towards the Aleph. In other words, they're all doing what Hashem wants. They don't have their own opinion. So that's how it's on our physical world. And we know there's many spiritual worlds. We explained already last week. There's 4 general worlds that we know about: Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, and Asiya, Ruchni. Each world also Yesh Bechina Zayin Akim Varetz Haruchnim. There's a spiritual 7 heavens and a spiritual earth. What is that? Well, that is the 7 midos, which is denoted in the pasuk L'Chashem Hagdula Chule, which Gdula is Chesed, Gevura. Chesed is kindness, Gevura is containment, Tiferes is beauty, which is Rachem and mercy. There's 7 midas. These 7 midas, they're not a physical space, but it's the same idea as a physical space. It's more of a spiritual representation of it, or more the physical world is a physical representation of these 7 midos, these 7 attributes. And we end up saying Baruch Shem Kohen Machos Levad, blesses the name of Hashem and His glory forever and ever. That all these worlds are getting its energy only from Kavod. Kavod refers to that it's just a ray. It's not really Hashem's core. It's all from like we said yesterday in the beginning of the Maimer. It's just Shtab Hashem Chalad Malkeinu. Through meditating on this and being mizbeinin in this, I'm going to reach the level of ahavta. I'm actually going to love Hashem. I'm not sure. L'ch'oira, it's the same meditation from last week. Similar meditation of Kihu Chayecha. When I realize that Hashem is the one living, it doesn't say clearly here, but I'm not 100% sure, but it seems like that. Now, when Yaakov Avinu was laying on his deathbed, he said Shema when he was laying on his deathbed, he wasn't so sure if his children were on his level. They say like this: Shema Yisrael, listen Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem that's your God, our God. Hashem Echad is the same Hashem that you believe in, that one Hashem. What does it mean? Yaakov didn't believe that his sons believe in one God. He thought that they serve idols. Al Rebbe explains it according to Chassidus. Just like the Shvatim told Yaakov, what did they tell him? Shema Yisrael, listen my father Yisrael. Just like you only believe, you in your heart is only Echad. So in other words, there's 2 ways to live life. I can live life that there's only Echad in my heart. Echad means everything in my life comes from Hashem. The money comes from Hashem, the problems come from Hashem, everything is directed, and the weather comes from Hashem, everything is from Hashem. That's Ein B'li B'chal Echad. Then there's unfortunately where I'm confused, not because I don't have it in my brain. My brain, everything's clear. But my heart, believe me, in my heart, I'm being pulled. The world is very enchanting, even though I know the truth. I just had an instance like this, where someone called me up and told me X, Y, and Z. He says, if you meet these people, they're going to convince you oppositely, that don't listen to them. And I heard what he said, but the moment that I came in contact with these people, they're very persuasive. And I made the wrong mistake. It's very hard, it's very easy. In other words, it's not, the mistakes don't happen only, the mistake meaning that I'm loving the world doesn't happen because I don't have the right information. The information is there, hopefully. If the information is not there for sure, it's going to be an issue. But a lot of the times we have the information. You know that really Hashem is in charge. Hashem's creating the world. You learn Chassidus. But the challenge I have is believe me in my heart. My heart's pulling me in different directions. Like the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya, or the Kedushas Levi Yitzchak, I believe, said. He said that the Eibusher, what do you want? You put all the pleasures of the world in color. You could smell it. You could taste it. It's right in front of every single Jew, and you put yourself in a black and white book that's very boring. So the Shvatim were saying, Shema Yisrael, listen, just like Ein B'li B'chel Echad, only you only have in your heart the Echad of Hashem. You're only connected to Hashem. Kach Ein B'li B'enu Echad, also we only have one. Peter, Shtei Shalta Rebbe, Kshem Shein B'li B'chel Echad. Since you only have one in your heart, what does mean one in your heart mean? Yaakov lived every single moment. He was a Merkava. We explained, I think it was last week, that a Merkava is like a car. A car doesn't have its own opinion. A car is totally in sync. Whatever the driver wants to do, he turns the wheel, it turns. A horse has a yoke on it, has straps on it, you could hit it, it'll listen to you, but it has its own opinion. That's why you have to put the blinders on the horse, it shouldn't get confused and go other directions. Yaakov Avinu was on a very high level that he was always connected to this one, even in his heart. Yaakov was like a level, like he was a car. And therefore, when you're a car, you don't have your own opinion. Yaakov Avinu was completely connected to Hashem every single moment. He was conscious that Hashem is creating him, Hashem is giving him energy, everything is coming from Hashem. And the mashal to describe it is just like a Merkava, just like a car. That doesn't have its own opinion. So too in our hearts, the Shvatim also only have one. Even though that we're lower than you, our souls are not as high, and we actually live in the world of separation. This is the terminology from the Kabbalah. Alma Dipruda means the world of separation. What does it mean, the world of separation? I look around the world, I don't see Hashem. I know that Hashem is creating the world. I know Hashem is in charge. I know Hashem is with me. But I don't see it. Nevertheless, the Shvatim said we worked on ourselves and we nullified. I put my ratzon, meaning to say that I think I have the way the world should work. How I'm going to be successful, make money, how I'm going to have a good relationship, how I'm going to get the place to live. But I said, you know what? I'm going to put my opinion on the side and bend it over like I'm going to bend over the other side. I shouldn't want anything besides God Himself, Hashem Himself. So then, the Shvatim also were able to develop that they also should always be in sync with Hashem. In other words, by Yaakov, it was natural. And by the Shvatim, they had to work on themselves. What this means is a one single-minded desire, will power. That's deeply rooted into the heart. I shouldn't want any deep desire in the world. Only Hashem Himself. Therefore, we only have one. What does it mean we only have one? My whole life is about Hashem. Wake up in the morning, how could I serve Hashem? I'm eating food in order to serve Hashem. I'm sleeping to have energy to serve Hashem. I have a relationship because Hashem told me I should get married, I should have a relationship. My whole life revolves around Hashem. But again, Yaakov was born that way. He was born on top of the mountain. And the Shvatim had to that's a good mashal that Yaakov Avinu was born on top of the mountain. They say that there was a hiker that was hiking up in the, I'm not sure which mountains it was. It was in whatchamacallit, and he climbed up the mountain, came to the top of the mountain, he sees a little child playing there. He asked the child, how did he get to the top of the mountain? He said, the child said, I was born there. So Yaakov Avinu was born on top of the mountain. and therefore his heart was only towards Hashem. The Shvatim, can you see that? The Shvatim had to work, they had to climb up the mountain, but they told Yaakov, even though we climbed up the mountain, we're there with you. It might be a daily struggle, we keep on slipping down the mountain, but we don't give up. Every single day we're climbing up the mountain. The mountain is to connect to Hashem. Oh, sorry, the Shvatim did not climb the mountain. Sorry, they didn't climb the mountain. But they brought down, I'm not sure what the mashal for that is, but they brought down the Echad down into themselves. They brought down the Echad into themselves. So this is the world of Atzilus. The top of the mountain is the world of Atzilus. Sorry. So we have over here the 4 different worlds. You have the world of Atzilus. I'm not sure which world the Shvatim are in. But let's say, just for argument's sake, this is the world of Atzilus. So Yaakov Avinu is in the world of Atzilus. He's on top of the mountain. The Shvatim are on the bottom. Yaakov Avinu, by default, lives with Echad. His whole life is revolving. His deepest desires is around, how can I connect to Hashem? I love Hashem. And the Shvatim weren't born on top of the mountain. We're still lamata. We're still in the physical world. Ma'almim alumim. We brought down the Echad into my personal life. Yeah, so they are in the Siyah. So that's what it says. A Yid is goy echad ba'aretz. That a Yid's avodah is to bring echad, Hashem's oneness, even though I'm a physical person. That's what the Torah tells us. You should love Hashem with all your heart. With both, which in grammatically it should have said it b'chol libecha. Chachamim tell us the reason why libecha is lashon yachid, with all your heart. What do you mean with all your heart? Levavecha with the extra vase, which means plural. I only have one heart. No, you have 2 hearts. You have an Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Hara. What the Shvatim did was they transformed the Nefesh HaMahamis. So basically the Shvatim L'chatchila, they had 2 hearts. The Shvatim L'chatchila only had 1 heart. Which that's their... And the Nefesh HaMahamis was focused on other things. But because they worked on themselves, they got that both of their hearts should be focused on Echad. Now, how do I get this? It's through his beinunus. How do they bring down the Echad into their heart? It's through meditation. Meditate, or I'm misbeinin in the greatness and the exaltedness of Hashem, how great Hashem is. How everything. Also, this is not the same meditation like we said before. That was last week's meditation. That's the Perek Chaf and Tanya is that type of Isbeinus. This week is the Isbeinus of Chaf Aleph, Perek Chaf Aleph and Tanya, which that is Kilach Shiva. Hashem is giving me energy, but I'm a Metzias for myself. It's Bittul Hayesh. Now, Parshas Vayakhel is Bittul Metzias. It's Bittul Metzias that there's nothing besides Hashem. Everything in front of Hashem is 0. The Efes Bilade, there's nothing besides Him. From this comes a nullification of my Ratzin. Therefore, the pasuk of Vahavta comes right after the pasuk of Hashem Echad, which is before it. Why? Through his beinunus of thinking about that Hashem is the only thing is Hashem. In other words, on a very practical, grabbe, day-to-day life, I have a sweater, I have glasses, I have a cup. Where did this come from? Depends. This came from the glasses store. That's one place. My cup came from Home Goods, I think. And my sweater came, not even sure, from a third store, a clothing store. How do I get money? From every single customer. I have many different customers, hundreds of customers. Each one gives me $100, $1,000. Each one. So I have But in reality, if I think about it, and I'm mizboinen, and I say, 1 second, no. It's all Hashem. Hashem Royi, Hashem gave it to me. So Hashem gave it to me, and I realize that everything is bottled to the Eibishter. In other words, instead of looking at the world in a way, there's a world. And Kiyu Chayecha, that's the Mizbeininus from last week. This is a deeper Mizbeininus. This is a Mizbeininus that there's nothing besides Hashem, because Hashem is creating every single thing from nothing to something. Hashem is giving me everything. And therefore, it's not many different addresses that are giving me, it's only one address. The address is Hashem Echad. Therefore, I'm bottled to the Eibishter. And therefore, I'm able to actually love the Eibishter, because this is the level of Bittul Haratzin. I'm putting what I want on the side, how I think my life should be, how I should get things. How should I get I should get the pleasures that I need, the comforts that I need, the needs that I need. I say, you know what? Hashem is running the show. Hashem Echad. There's only Hashem. So this is all during the week. During the week, the Alter Rebbe say, this is what I'm working hard during the week. And Shabbos, I don't have to work hard to get to this realization. To get to this Echad on Shabbos is easy. All this is during the 6 days of the week. So interesting. We think that Torah says you should work 6 days of the week. It's referring to a job, to a business, to a company. No. That is okay. You have to work, fine. But the ikar work during the week is davening. It's a very hard work. The Zohar, the Kabbalah calls it, what is the avodah? The Torah tells you should work for 6 days. Pulchana derechimusa. The work of love. Meaning developing the love, because I'm a bottom of the mountain, right? I'm a bottom of the mountain here with the Shvatim. I can't climb up the mountain. I need to bring the Echad into my heart. I'm working very hard the whole week to think about it. And that really is the avodah. In short, the avodah of davening. I start off with Moida Ani. I'm half asleep. Didn't wash Negel yet. I have a whole plan how my day has to look. What I need in life, how much money I need to make, how people should treat me. I say, you know what, Moida, Hashem, I'm admitting that the way you want my life to run is the way it's going to run. That's how I go through my entire day. Haidula Hashem, until I get to Moidim and Shemaneser, where I'm admitting to Hashem. It's a very hard avodah to put my opinion and all those different perspectives, how I think I'm getting my needs, and realize, no, it's Echad, it's only from Hashem. The whole world is being created from nothing to something from Hashem. Because it's very hard work, exertion. You cannot develop, the way Hizbeinus works is you cannot develop love from Hizbeinus. Like it's explained in Tanya Paragimel, the only way to do it is only if you really, really connect to it. And you meaning to say, the way Hizbeinus works is that I'm thinking over this idea, but automatically my mind starts wandering. I have to keep my mind straight, get back to the topic. It takes a lot of mental focus. Why? What's happening there? It's the Inyan from Bittul. You're putting all your opinions aside and taking in information from Hashem. It takes a lot of self-control. It's not easy. It's very hard work. So there's 39 spiritual steps in the process to develop love to Hashem, which is explained somewhere else. We're not getting into the details of it because here the focus is Shabbos. So Alter Rebbe is going to say, and that's what we have over here, the difference between Shabbos and Chol is that the difference between Shabbos and Chol is like this. Look at this. Here a nice chart. I think it's nice. So we have over here the weekday. In the weekday, the brain starts first. Starts with the brain. Can you see this? I'm Hizboinen. When I'm Hizboinen and I work very hard, then I develop love to Hashem. Shabbos is the opposite. Shabbos starts with the love. It's automatically. I don't have to work hard. Because the working hard, the Eibusher said, is only 6 days of the week. 7th day on Shabbos, the door opens up. The opportunity I never knew about before. Since I have an extra neshama on Shabbos, This means I have a new soul that wasn't there in the weekday. What is this new soul, this new neshama? This is a feeling to Hashem that's higher than meditation, higher than Hizbenus. Not because I understand, not because I know that I'm a Jew is totally connected to Hashem. It says in the Zayar and Kabbalah says there is a ratzin, there is a ratzin. There's a feeling of love and a feeling of love. Meaning to say, both of these are ratzin. The difference is one comes from intelligence, from its seichel, and one is higher than seichel. There's a ratzin that's born from seichel. It's a lower ratzin. Because this ratzin, this willpower, is developed from what you understand. Therefore, it's lower than understanding, and it's drawn from it. But there's a higher ratzin, which is much higher than chachma. And this relation to the soul, it's a love that's born from meditation, from Hizbenus of the seichel. Sorry. It's a very simple love that's higher than seichel. That's the yichida. In other words, there's 5 parts of the soul. There's nefesh, ruach, neshama, chai, yichida. Yichida is the highest part, which is a shtickle save of Kalalman. It doesn't come into the body. It sends messages through the 6th sense. It's like, for example, there's a story with a mother that her son was pinned under a car, and she picked up the car. Normal, even a man wouldn't think of picking up a car. You think it's impossible, never do it. But when it came to the mother, her ratzin, she wanted her son so badly, her son should stay alive, that she didn't think about it. It wasn't an intellectual discussion or process. I want my son, whatever it takes, doesn't have to make sense. And therefore she actually ended up picking up the car to get him out. Separate discussion according to physiology, biology, the adrenaline that powered her up. But we were discussing this in the Kudah. When I really want something, when it's to my core of my nefesh, the etzem my nefesh, I do things that are not according to what makes sense. Because this ratzin, this desire is very deep. It's much deeper than the seichel. In other words, my connection to my child is much deeper than logic. It's not because it makes sense that my son is my son, therefore, no. If that was the case, then the mother wouldn't pick up the car. Because according to logic, okay, it's not parental neglect if I didn't pick up the car. There is a ratzin which is higher than seichel. For example, our sages tell us that sometimes Hashem says, you know what? That's just what I want. I'm not going to explain it to you. Only on Shabbos, once a week, this feeling is revealed to us on Shabbos. This is a very big love that comes from above to below. My godly soul on Shabbos. Meaning to say that it does not come because I thought about it and I was mizbeinin. It comes automatically, and therefore it's higher than my seichel. The revelation of this ratzin ha'elyon, this it's called ha'elyon because it's higher than chachma. This desire, which is higher than Hizbenus, is revealed specifically on Shabbos. Why? The Neksiv says in the Parshas, the gate of the inner courtyard that faces the east, which east is called kadim, which means the front. Also, Pirish, as Taichat Hashem created the world with 10 utterances. He says, let there be light, let there be a sun and stars, let the ground sprout out all vegetation, all that. And when Hashem said that, there was 10 sentences, so to speak, that Hashem said, and all creations came from that. It means to say, when I want to do something, I have to actually go and build it. Now we have AI, we have talk to text, so I could actually talk, and the words come. I could talk into my phone, and it could send a command and open and close a light or whatever, start an engine, start printing on a 3D printer. The Chachamim tell us Bereshis, when it says in the beginning Hashem created the heaven and the earth, that also is one of the 10 Ma'amaris, one of the 10 sentences Hashem used to create the world. So it was lower down. So Chachma Elah is the higher Chachma. Meaning to say there's no explanation. He's just saying that he wants to have a world. Then there was 9 other utterances to extrapolate that and to flesh it out, what exactly the details are. And this Chachma, which is the Chachma of the world of Atzilus, which said Yaakov is from that world, so that it lowered itself down, the Chachma, into Midas, and then there's 9 other Ma'amares, 9 other utterances to create the details, that there should be light and that the vegetation should grow. For example, a person that writes an article or a speech, or he draws a painting, what happens? First, there is the parallel to Chachmei Elah. There's my idea. I have a vision. You have a vision how the painting should be. I want to make a video, how this movie is going to be, how this speech is going to be. Okay, that's the general idea. The tone. What is it going to be? A persuasive? What type of movie? It's going to be a horror movie. It's going to be a documentary, fiction, science fiction. What is it going to be? Action. Now that I have the general idea and I have where it's going to be, general details. Now I need to bring it down into details, exactly how the movie or the painting or it's going to be. That's why it's called 6 days of creation, because the 6 days of the week is not just 6 days randomly. On Shabbos, there's a new that comes down, and the 6 days is developing those. The first day is the first one, and it's developing those 6 days. It's called 6 days of Shvavimei Bereshis. 6 days of the first. It's accepting from the first. Whatever you're gonna make in that movie, in that video, or in that speech, or in that painting, it's all gonna be based on that vision you had in the beginning, the general vision. So that is Reishis. Reishis Name Maimeru, even though it's not specific. Everything Vav Mei Bereishis is the 6 days that are getting its inspiration from the Reishis, from the first vision, the first idea that Hashem had. What's Reishis? Chachmei Elah. That is the Chachma of Atzilus. Shabbos, even Shabbos, it's written, Vayinof Hashem rested, Shegomar, Shegmar, Melach, Inis Allah Chachma, Midis, the B'chinas Shalmai, the Chachma, B'chinas Sotzin, Natan Galin. What does that mean? That the Chachma, in order to, when you finish making the movie, finish writing the speech, now you can stop thinking about it, you can rest, you don't have to think about it anymore. While you think of the Chachma has to go into the details and figure it out. Now you can rest, that's the idea of Shabbos. You're enjoying the fact that you worked hard the whole week. The fact that you put all this energy in the whole week. That's what it says, that the gate faced east. Higher than Chachma is called Kedem, because Kedem doesn't only mean east, Kedem also means in the front, in Lashon HaKodesh. When you say one, there could be a second. When you say Kedem, before one, there's no second before. This is higher than all numbers. Al Shei Imu v'Shabbos Ayin Sham. K'noida Gamkin al Pasuk HaMagam Yishus Chuli Min Kedem Chuli. Ayin Sham. Shabbos Niftach Hashar Pein HaKodim. And Shabbos, this gate, which is facing towards higher than Chachmei Elah, opens up. And this is the revelation of Hashem's higher Ratzon, meaning a Ratzon that's not dependent on what I understand, and a supernal pleasure, meaning it's a pleasure not because I thought about it and understood it, it's something which comes naturally. Where does this pleasure come from? It doesn't come from pleasure because there's two types of pleasure. A pleasure because I'm working, and there's a pleasure because I'm resting from work. This is a higher Ratzon, higher Taina because it's coming from resting. Also, when I'm working, I don't have enjoyment. I only have enjoyment when I finish working, when I finish building something, finish creating a video, finish creating, giving a class. Oh, then I feel good. And that's why this Ratzon Aliyah is revealed also in my nefesh, because it's a revelation of the great love that's higher than seichel. In other words, during the week, if I put in the work, I get it. If I don't put in the work, I don't get it. But on Shabbos, it's not dependent on me doing the work. So therefore, it's revealed. And that's my neshama yeseda. What do you mean an extra neshama? I have an extra sensitivity. I'm able to live. Shabbos is basically, what is Shabbos? Shabbos is I'm living on top of the mountain for the weekend. It's like a vacation, so to speak. During the week, I'm working hard. Shabbos, I'm going back to, so that's top of the mountain, would be over here. During the week, I'm over here, I'm bottom of the mountain. This is the bottom of the mountain. And I have to work with my brain to feel anything. On Shabbos, I get uplifted, my heart gets an upgrade. I'm on top of the mountain now, higher than Seichel. And therefore it doesn't matter how much I meditated. That's what we say on Kiddush and Shabbos. V'ratza banu. So Ratza Banu has two meanings. The simple meaning of Ratza Banu, Hashem wants us, Hashem chose us. It's such a beautiful feeling when somebody chose you, not because they have to, they want to. I gave Shalach Manos to somebody, he told me that if his Rebbe would come give him Shalach Manos, he wouldn't bother him, because it's his rabbi, of course. When somebody that's not in your community, somebody doesn't know you, and you meet, and he appreciates you, then you feel so special. So V'ratza Banu, it's a pashta meaning, but then there's a Chassidish taich. V'ratza Banu, Hashem put a ratzon in me. The whole week I'm struggling to have this ratzon. The whole week, every day I get up, and I want what I want. I want to look at the world, and that's not because I want to. That's an neshama guf. I'm living on the bottom of the mountain, right? I'm living at the bottom of the mountain. And Hashem says, you know what? On Shabbos, I'm going to give you a free upgrade. I'm going to give you a free upgrade. You could experience V'ratza Banu. I'm going to give you this ratzon that you could experience what it means like to living on top of the mountain. You could catch your breath and you could plug in and enjoy your Shabbos. Have a wonderful day, my friend.